From a busy bus terminal in Manhattan to the vice president's home in D.C., from downtown Sacramento to military barracks in Cape Cod, tonight an escalating border battle.
Do you know why you were sent to New York?
This man from Venezuela has no idea why he was bused to New York City. Many parents with small kids and babies just as lost.
These 3 buses came after 3 more arrived this morning. Port Authority officials say they all came from El Paso, Texas.
The arrivals mark a growing political war, with Republican governors in Texas, Arizona, and Florida busing and flying migrants en masse to so-called sanctuary cities. This morning, for the second time this week, a bus dropped dozens outside Vice President Kamala Harris's Washington home. While in Sacramento, 3 Venezuelan migrants arrived this week from Texas, unsure of who bought their plane tickets. One telling NBC station KCRA they walked 27 miles from the airport to an address written on their paperwork.
2 of them said that they wanted to go to Utah, and 1 of them wanted to go to Manhattan, and then somehow they ended up in Sacramento.
Legal experts say many of these migrants will have to return to where they entered the U.S. to process their asylum cases. While their cases are pending, which can take more than a year, most won't be able to get legal jobs. Meanwhile, in D.C., churches are helping to provide temporary shelter. In Massachusetts, the approximately 50 migrants who were flown to Martha's Vineyard earlier this week are now at Joint Base Cape Cod, the governor promising they will have access to legal and health care services. And for the more than 11,000 who have arrived in New York City since May, public schools have opened their doors, enrolling 1,400 migrant children for classes. Meanwhile, the city confirms close to 8,000 remain in homeless shelters like this one.
Do you know what the plan is long term?
2 men who didn't want to be identified tell us there is no long-term plan. They're here with no family and no idea how to find housing. This as the buses continue to roll in.
And Maggie Vespa joins me now from Port Authority in New York. Maggie, how much advance notice are authorities there getting now before these buses roll in?
Sure. Well, Jose, here in New York, the mayor's office says they're flat out not getting any notice from these governors or these states. They had sometimes local governing agencies or nonprofits will reach out ahead of time, but that's sporadic. And officials say they often hear later on about buses having arrived that they didn't even know were coming.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.